Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This is going to be a comprehensive early game guide which should hopefully answer a lot of questions that are asked in the Discord and in game. Just before I begin, I thought I'd mention the Art of Conquest Discord because there is a lot of information on there for people to have a look at, and a lot of people who you can ask questions to. There is a condensed version of the early game guide in the server. You just have to type it in a command, early game, percentage early game, and then you'll be able to see a summarized version of this guide. I'm thinking that this guide will probably become outdated pretty fast, just given the way that the power of the races changes pretty quickly. Like at the moment, Rakan is by far the strongest, and it even got stronger. They buffed it this week, but yeah, I'll try to update the guide on the Discord more often than posting a new video. So if it's been a while since this video is posted, I'd definitely recommend checking out the Discord and looking at the written guide in there. So let's get on to the first section. So for the first part of the guide that we'll be covering, the first topic, is race. And it's pretty obvious the choice is Rakan. And you want to use Rakan archers with a turtle. This is just pretty much because the Rakan archers are way stronger than everything else at the moment. And they even got buffed a few days ago, which just makes them by far the strongest. So it's pretty hard to, advocate for any other race at the moment other than Rakan. There is some niche cases where you switch to like Dwarf for Kingdom Guardian or Pinnacle, but you pretty much will be staying as Rakan archers for a while. For the setup of them, you want to have some immunity by either Blade Breaker or Shadow Fade. Shadow Fade's the preferred option. I just don't have it at the moment. And you'll be able to see, I'll go through a dual tower replay just to show how strong the archers are. This guy's 13 million, okay. So yeah, they do the majority of the damage, although the Lord of War does quite a bit as well, but they have a massive AoE which just allows them to pretty much one-shot everything on the screen. Yeah, so as you can see, even though my Lord of War's like not too weak, it's just completely outshined by the archers. Yeah, so definitely going to be picking Rakan archers, and as I said before, check out the Discord and do the command to see the guide. It could have changed since this video is released, but yeah, Rakan archers, they're good. Use them. The next section of the guide is upgrade order and building speed. So before you queue any research or building, you want to make sure that you have the highest possible percentage increase. There's quite a few sources of building speed increase. I'll put a sheet on the video. So yeah, you could use that to get a higher increase. What I would recommend doing is going and getting your Dragon 250 and leveling up these 3 skills. And you should do that through the airship by buying the Dragon Glass and Soulfire in here, and you can also process some Dragon Glass in the process shop. And I would also recommend going to floor 6 and getting the 20% of each here, and you'll naturally unlock building speed in the other features. You need to only focus on upgrading what gets you to the next stronghold level. As you can see in the top right corner, there's a upgrade requirement, and only upgrade the important buildings just to the point so that you can get to the next stronghold level. It's really important to rush your stronghold because you unlock new features as you increase its level, and each new feature can really, increase the power of your account, and which will then make you perform better in events. I'd recommend rushing until Castle 45, as that's when the most recent feature unlocks, and after 45 it may be more optimal to wait for longer periods of time until you have the higher percentage increase. Like, for example, I have 30 days, but I'm waiting until I get the 10% title at least, and then hopefully the Emperor gives the 10% buff to me as well. I'll also put a sheet of when each feature unlocks at like which castle level, as that'll help you to know, do you need to rush castle soon or can you wait? I would also keep in mind events. So lumber rush event is a good time to rush your castle, because obviously you're going to be spending a lot of lumber. And also alliance mobilization gives you more points for spending rush. So yeah, that's how you should treat your upgrades for building. And let's move on to the next section. So for your research, the same idea applies. You want to have the most research speed possible before you queue your upgrade. And now I'll just go over what I think that you should prioritize. Mine's actually not going at the moment, but yeah, I'll just go over what you should prioritize, and this is just my opinion. Someone else might have a better idea of what can help your account the most, but this is what I think is the best. And if you have a different idea, then please leave it in the comments so people can see. So for your army, I upgrade the archers as much as possible, while skipping these ones. I mean, especially this one, because I don't want to waste any lumber on something that's not really useful. And just increasing all the ones that give you good stats. And when you have more academy level, and it's possible for you to upgrade 2 tiers at once. Like for the very start of the game, you're pretty much only able to upgrade 1 tier at once, because you'll never you'll finish it way before you get the next academy level. So yeah, I'm upgrading ones that I have enough resources for. So this one, I'm kind of bottlenecked on mana at the moment, so I'm upgrading the one with lumber. And in the early game, you might actually upgrade this too fast, and you won't be able to upgrade anything in your archers. So what I'd recommend doing is just upgrading your turtle a little bit. Not, obviously you won't really be able to do too much, but yeah, that's what I'd recommend for that. This siege one, just do it as you unlock them. Doesn't really take long and super easy. So for heroes, you should get to tier 4 here in each of the tiers first. You can do it like this, where you go 10, 10, 14, 20. Yeah, so you want to do that first just so you can make as many gold troops as possible. And then you should focus on getting the ones which increase your max level. I think this one. Nope. Yeah, so this one gives you 2 extra levels. And I would recommend Gladiator Paladin first, because Teodrin, one of your most important heroes, especially for events, is a Gladiator. And then I would get the plus levels in Mage Necromancer, then General, and then Rogue Mechanist. Once you get the plus levels, that's going to take you quite a while. So, I mean, I'm not even close to being finished. Along the way, you can grab things like this, makes immune to crowd control, which is pretty important. And this one also reduces the damage taken. That's why I've got it. And I'm pretty sure here I was just capped for resources, so I got some attack on the heroes. Yeah, so get the increased bronze cap and maximum levels, and also grab the small features along the way if you can. So yeah, that's all for research, and let's move on to the next section. So let's talk about heroes and artifacts. The first hero that you should get from up here in the chests is Tiadrin. She's important for single hero events like Elite Trials, but an important thing to note is that you should not spend any Linari on heroes. Just use the free bits that you gain from, as you can see, like in the top middle there. I think they're called soul bits. Yeah, just use the free ones. And when you get to VIP 9, you'll start to get 5 extra per day. I think you get 4 extra per day from the start of a server. So save all of them for Tiadrin. Let's see if she's coming up soon. Yeah, so I pretty much just saved all of my soul bits until Tiadrin came into my shop, and then rolled for her, and I got lucky and I got it. I haven't even gotten one guaranteed hero yet, so I've opened the chest, what is that, 27 times, and I got Tiadrin. So if I didn't get her just by luck, then I still wouldn't even have her at 45 days on my account. So, you know, don't feel too rushed. I will say though, I have won like 2 elite trials because of having her, so it's definitely worth, you know, getting her as fast as possible. Once you get Tiadrin, it's kind of up to debate what's next best. Drac used to be really good. I'll find him, but he's no longer that good at all. Just because he pretty much gets instantly one hit by Rakan archers. You know, even with an hourglass on him, like he's not really making too much of an impact. Also because people have heaps of resistances these days, even in the early game. So what I would recommend for heroes is ones that will buff your ranged units, which will help you perform better in events and stuff like that. So some examples of heroes that will buff your ranged units is Hopnia. Where's Hopnia? There's Elena. Tok. Elena. You know, Cyrus. So yeah, focus on those heroes after you get Tiadrin. And yeah, now for artifacts, when you're presented with the choice from, what is it, Gladiator games, and also Forest Claim. So I elected to get this one, the Tempering Charm, just because it buffs the ranged units and helps you get a better score in events. And also the Sky Totem for the same reason. And then you can also get ones that will help keep your buffing heroes alive. So the Hourglass, and there's one called Cilantris. So yeah, I would go for those ones. A small tip that I got told is if you have the Sapiel to 3 stars, your units are immune to Moral Collapse for 20 seconds, and you won't have a fight that's longer than 20 seconds. Just because the archers just explode everything instantly. So you can use this, and you can even put Gazul with Fearsome Aura, and that will, you know, give you an advantage against other players that haven't done that. So yeah, that's heroes and artifacts. Actually, I'll quickly talk about this Battle Hardened because I see people ask about it a lot. My understanding is you should get all of them to 2 stars, and then good ones to get are Avalon first. because obviously he buffs your ranged troops. That's, you know, important, as I've said. And also, I think Balrog is pretty good at 3 stars. So yeah, that's it for heroes and artifacts. So utility chests and feature progress. This is probably the most subjective section of this, and I'm gonna just, you know, give a short guideline of what I did. I think my account's pretty good. I was the 4th person on our server to finish Glory Tower 400, which is a super important milestone. I mean, I'll mention again in the future. So yeah, 4th person, and I was completely free to play. And obviously these 3 people above me have spent a decent amount of money, which made their accounts way stronger than mine. But yeah, so this is very subjective, and if you have different opinions, that's fine, and just leave them in the comments, and maybe someone else can you know, learn from your knowledge. So what did I do for utility chests and feature progress? Do I even have a utility? Okay, good. They recently added this advanced scroll and dragon totems into the chest. I don't think that really changes too much of the early game of what you should do. Maybe open a few of these, but you know, don't do too much because you'll get a lot of materials from Lucky Wheel and other sources, and I don't really think the scrolls are the best way of getting the Lord of War stuff. But anyway, I will go through what I did for utility chests in like a step-by-step way. And if it's easy to follow, there is a text version in the Discord, as I said. So I unlocked Aether, and I just slotted stones in all the spots. Like, I didn't try to roll for any specific, you know, arrays or anything like that. I didn't really care. I just wanted to get the stats so that my account was stronger. So I think I'd spent like, I don't know, 20 chests, maybe 20 less. The next thing I did is I got to rank 7 in here so that I can awaken my troops. That's pretty obvious why you'd want to do that. Yeah. So that's an easy one. And then I got this Covenant to purple. I think it's epic quality. Yeah. I'd even go for Awakened Epic because it gives reduced magic damage taken, and yeah, that's obviously a really important stat, and that will just give your troops some good base stats so that you can keep, you know, progressing in your Void and Glory Tower and stuff. And yeah, and just as a, you know, quick disclaimer, you're obviously doing this as you upgrade your account, so you know, like, you're not going to be Castle 40 and then start following what I'm saying. Like, this is from a, you know, new account or kind of low level. So yeah, you'll get to Covenant. I think you unlock it at Castle 20 and just get your ones to Awakened Purple. The next step is medals. Now, do not spend on these fragments for medals. Even though when you're early game and like you just unlock medals and they're increasing everyone's power so much, don't do this. That's a terrible use of utility chests. If you desperately, you know, want some medals so that you can just put 3 on your ranged units like this, the good sources are in Glory Tower, I think. Sells 1. Yep, there's 1. And also in the Ultimate Clash shop, you can gain 1 there. So do that, and then as you're playing, also spend the majority of your dust on this. You need, I think, a level 5 research center to get the recipe, but it's well worth it because this is how you'll get pretty much all of your metals. I mean, I'll show you. So you process them. People have, ideas of what's the most lucky way to open these chests. I don't know. I've been trying to get Shadow Fade for ages, but I haven't got it. So yeah, you open this, get these, and upgrade your metals. Don't need to take anything out of utility chests for them. Once you get your metals to, where are they? You get some of them to like the max star in here, like that. You can start transmuting metals, and that's good. So yeah, that's what you should do for metals. Obviously, like Shadow Fade's the most important, and then it's kind of debatable which ones you should put on your DPS units. I think there's a command in the Discord, so you can use that. Then Cosmic. You'll unlock Cosmic Badge. I think it's 23. And I just opened up enough chests so that I could socket this. I'm pretty sure this is what I literally got with my original placement. So yeah, you just get a couple legendaries, a couple purples. If you only get purples, that's fine, and then just upgrade it to like either level 10 or 20, depending on if you have so many utility chests and you're only a low castle level. Then I guess put a bit more, but you don't want to go too crazy with this. And then you'll unlock prisms. These are, this is an important feature. So when you unlock prisms, try to get your arrays to at least level 7 or 8. Preferably 8. And you want to be equipping 6 shards, support, and these ones, because the hero bonus increases the attack and max health of all the friendly units. So that's really important. And if you don't have any 6 shards support arrays, then just use all troop attack. I think in the past it was better to use hero attack, but that's not the case anymore. Rakan archers are way more broken than heroes, so yeah. Do that. Upgrade your prisms. Another, I guess, on the topic of prisms, for the first couple of, I think it's happening now, which is, conveniently, the first couple blooms of rebirth, you should, from these chests, get the rare prism chests, the purple ones, and open them so that you can get true and fine prism arrays for your support ones. I've done this for 2 blooms now, and I'm going to stop now because I got enough true and fine for a while, certainly until I unlock more prisms. So that's for prisms. And once you've got your prisms to level 8, you can focus on silverwing literature for quite a bit. This is like, the first decent sized investment that you'll make into your account. Also, another caveat, while you're, doing all these other things, don't forget to upgrade stuff with like free materials that you've got. So, even though I'm only saying silverwing now, you'll have materials for it before this. But yeah. So for silverwing, you want to get to 4/6 as soon as possible, so that you can see, as I said earlier, the page 6 for increased research, and there's also building speed ones, giving you 20% of each. I'd even say mine's kind of lacking behind at the moment, but I'm focusing on armory. Anyway, I'll talk about that later. But you can skip, pages. So as you can see, I maxed these ones, and then did partial here, and got these ones to page 9 or whatever it is. well, page 6, there you go. You can, there's enough information on the Discord for you to be able to calculate how many utility chests away you are from upgrading here. So, calculate that and pretty much just save up, or do it as you go, and upgrade your Silverwing literature because it's important to get the building speed. And by the time you've done that, if you're rushing fast enough, you should get to Castle 30 and unlock oh, that's an incorrect way of doing it. You unlock Draconic. And you want to get to 109 Affliction. I'm pretty sure this has like 90 chests, and it just gives you some delay death. So that's really good. Something quick to do that will make a big difference in your account. Then after this, it's kind of a while before you get to Castle 35, where you unlock some more features. So there's a few things that you can do. I believe you'll now, by Castle 30, have Hero Potential and the Reliquary. So in the Reliquary, I'd put in whatever, 50, 100 chests, and just unlock all of these. The way that you should upgrade this is get as many to level 10 as you can for the quests in here, and then start to upgrade these common ones to 4 stars so that you can transmute them. And then just, snowball that into getting more of the, what is this? Thrugic shards. Yeah, so get more of the Thrugic shards and upgrade this all the way. Just max out the small ones first, because then you can transmute the materials. So yeah, spend a few into there. And then Hero Potential. When you get to, level 40 of your hero, get this Wisdom, the first tier on every hero, like upgrade them all to 40, and get this so that you can get a lot of command and get more gold troops. Something to note with hero potential is, I like to get to the second tier on heroes that are actually important. So Avril, of course, probably Virion soon. And another important thing to say is some of the heroes have reduced damage taken in them, so get them. I think it's Nora, Jax, Virion, Gazul. Off the top of my head, not entirely sure. Have a look in game and you'll be able to see. And then after you've done that, you should try to get to Divine Covenant, and this takes a good amount of chests as well. I think it's even more than literature takes, but I think you'll be able to complete it before you get to Castle 35 and unlock Armory. So yeah, you can get a lot of reduced damage taken from here. Obviously mine aren't the best because I didn't really care. I spent like a couple Purify Stones. I'll focus on this later when I have more utility chests to spare. So yeah, get to Divine Covenant and get a couple reduced damage takens in there. If you can't get reduced damage taken, I'd say the next most important stat is attack speed for events. So you now have Divine Covenant and your Castle 35. For your unlock troop equipment, just get this to 6. It's kind of cheap. You can do it pretty fast. And then you're going to be focusing on Armory for a long time. And that's pretty fun. I like this set because it gives attack speed. I think later I'll switch to ones like, reduce your damage taken, but it's in the early game, you're pretty much just attacking as fast as you can with Rakan archers, and only way that you're surviving is by delaying death with like immunity effects. So it doesn't really matter how tanky your troops are. So for the armory, you want to focus on ones that give troops reduced damage taken, and upgrade the pieces the smallest star level that you can to get the troop damage taken reduced. Like some of these, yeah, so I think this one at 2 stars, boom, you get it. So just do that. And then I've gone through and then after I did the 2-star ones, I did the 3-star ones, the 4-star ones, the 5-star ones, and now I've done every single one to 5-star that has it at 5 stars, and then I'm going to have to bring ones up to 6 stars. You want to kind of strike a balance of unlocking the stone slots and then also leveling up the stones as well. So pretty much once I've got all of the ones that you can get until 5 stars, and I'm now focusing on stones until I get all the stones to level 4. And then after I get them all to level 4, I'll get all of the red stones that are at 6-star equipment, and then I'll probably get all the stones to level 5. So it's a lot of chess, but you know, reduced damage taken, the most important stat. Actually, let's say it's second most important stat, but it's, you know, that's the best stat you can get in armory. So yeah, focus on that. And that's going to take you a long while. Now, if you find yourself getting new prism arrays in this time, you want to get them to level 10. If you don't have any support arrays, I'd hold off on getting them to level 10 and keep focusing on the armory. And then, you know, oh, boom, you get lucky from a Bloom's chest. Upgrade your prism to level 10 and slot the array in there. And once you get all your prisms to level 10, go back to your armory and just keep, you know, bouncing between them. And, you know, eventually you're upgrading a castle, doing all those, you'll get to castle 40. And unlock hero mastery. Now, you don't need to put too much in here, to be honest, at the moment. Just get arcane 8 for Avril so she can start doing a bit of damage. Upgrade these small ones so that you get the stats there and the first milestone. And also a good one is command 6 for attack speed for events. Yeah, attack speed is definitely one of the most important things in events. And so you're now, you know, level castle 40 and you've done heaps in your prisms and your armory. The next things after the armory is the literature. I'll be trying to get this to 23 copies and get the books on 410. They have reduced resistance. Now, something that I should add in here, anywhere in between here, if you get 510 of these confidential pages, you should start spending all of your utility chests into getting one of these books to page 12. So all units decrease enemies' resistance by 40% with attacks. And decreasing resistances with attack, I would say, is even more important than having your own reduced damage taken. Because it allows you to finish events faster, you'll get better scores, and it'll help you progress in the Glory Tower more. Like in the Glory Tower, your troops don't really take much damage, but they don't really deal as much damage unless they have the reduced damage taken. So this is super important. So yeah, that's 4 features. I obviously haven't talked about some features because they're not in the utility chests, so I'll just do a quick I guess, overview of them. Lord of War, you get it from Lucky Wheel, upgrade it. There's some commands in the Discord which show you which abilities to get. It's kind of, annoying because you can roll over your old ones, and I've got really lucky and haven't had to spend many Lord of Wars on getting skills, because obviously you want them for the skill expansions before you want to actually put them on there. I'd say if you're, trying to get your one started, the most important ones are having 100% at the start of battle, because, a battle lasts like 2 seconds sometimes. And then you want multicast, so it instantly casts twice. Mana Nest is good. And the Arrival is important because it gives you invulnerability. And that's the only thing that keeps anything alive in the early game. The next feature, this is the new one. It's at 45. I'll just quickly go over it. So for this one, I'm trying to get reduced enemies resistance with the purple set, because I didn't really like the look of the 2 legendary ones. I'm 1 piece off. Looks like in this one, I'm trying to go for Colossus Wall. That's for melee troops for the late game. This one, I'm undecided on which one I'm going to try to get. And this one, I want to get Rapid Extraction. Makes your heroes more tanky. That's good. And this one, I'm also undecided. There's an important stat in here. Troops decrease enemies' resistance with attacks. And some of the other pieces have like it on heroes or dragons or whatever. So this is a good feature to upgrade, and I'm pretty sure it gives pretty good stats as well. That's the Imperial Alliance. For the tree, you should upgrade this strategy center first, and then the workshop and the dew condensers. Don't even worry about these yet. And in the tree, you want to get these nodes here: building speed, research speed. Get the nodes so that you can do that. That's what I'm doing. Want to progress the account faster, need more building speed, need more research speed. In the Runesteel Valley, some of these give reduced enemy resistances. Do those ones first, then do your own reduced damage taken, and then just pretty much do whichever ones you can to the first level so that you can get this 20% building speed and 20% research speed. And once you've unlocked them all, or most of them, these ones that give crit, is that one a crit one? Crit and all damage dealt, I'm not too concerned about. So once I got the building speed, I started upgrading more of the reduced enemies resistance ones. And what else is another feature? Praetorian. In the Praetorian, the wind one is by far the best one. I regret even putting these to level 20. Like, they're not important at all. The wind one will carry you through the glory tower and events. It does heaps of damage. Upgrade it. Use all your universal ones in here. This is upgrade this the most, and this is how I've done the abilities. I did in this one for Cosmic get it to level 10 because it reduces enemies' physical and magic resistance, which is obviously great. So that's, I think, all of the features that aren't in utility chests. Leave a comment below. I'll be able to cover them if I haven't. So that's what you should do for utility chests and features. If there is, for example, blooms after you've done your prisms, the best features to focus on are your dew, because you want building and research speed, Praetorian materials, because your wind Praetorian carries you the most in Glory Tower, and the confidential literature pages because you want to reduce the enemy's resistances. Cool. Next section. The next section is Linari and events, and that's pretty much what this game is about, is how much Linari can you get to spend on the lucky wheel and upgrade your account. So yeah, if you spend your Linari correctly, you can come far ahead of the other players who are, being inefficient, spending it on bad events. You can even compete with whales in events. If you're a free to play, you just have to, invest in the right things. The reason that you can compete with the whales is for the majority of the events, the cap of what's possible is, not very high. Like in our realm, for example, in Elite Trials, you can only get 25 seconds and it's pretty easy to do. You don't actually have to have too strong of an account. Just enough, attack speed, the right heroes and stuff like that. So yeah, it's really important how you spend your Linari. So what you should do is you should save for the Lucky Wheel because it gives the most materials for Lord of War and Praetorian. And I would spend a little bit of Linari in Forest Claim when it comes, just to get the prism arrays, like not the arrays, the actual stones, and also to get the artifact. Other than that, don't spend your Linari, just save it. There's some events where you want to save up the materials. This is a pretty, the most important example actually. In this event, don't spin these, save them up, and you'll eventually be able to get a EX stone to make your prism arrays even stronger. So yeah, save those ones up. There's also a event called Carrots. There's a command in the Discord if you want to know more about it. It happens normally around Chinese New Year, the Lilith anniversary in May, and the Art of Conquest anniversary in September. I've been spinning the wheel. It's come through twice on my account so far, and I did 190 spins both times, and that's put me pretty strong. But the way that they've done the wheel now is it levels up the more times you spin. So and also obviously you get more rewards the further you go in. Specifically 700's a good milestone to get this dragon ability. But yeah, it rewards you for doing more spins. So maybe after this lucky wheel, I'll save for a 700 spin, which will take a few months, but it's a net increase in, materials. But you have to, I guess, weigh up, is it worth to spend 190 spins to become stronger, to win more events, to get more spins next time, or will you still get enough Linari from your event placements even without spinning the wheel and get more by doing 700 spins? So that's how you have to think about, distributing your Linari. Yeah, the events, I will, I guess, eventually make specific videos for each event. If you're not spending money, then some of the events you can't possibly compete. I'm fourth in this one. I'm free to play. There's some people that are spending way more than me, but these people above me, I just don't really have any chance of reaching them unless I spend money, which is fine. You obviously can still progress a lot as a free to play and have fun. But yeah, for the events, try to get as high placement as possible. The super good ones are City Clash, Honor War, what's it called? Golems. They give you a lot of Linari. And then a lot of the events just give you Linari for free anyway. If you're a new account, there's this fishing event, and you get heaps of Linari from that. So yeah, save up your Linari, spend it on the Lucky Wheel, and on the Carrots event, and a little bit on Forest Claim. Cool. So now we're going to talk about Glory Tower 400. That's the first milestone that you should be, gunning towards on your account. If you can get there faster than everyone else, you'll become stronger than them. So you want to get to stage 400 in Glory Tower, because you can start buying these pages. And obviously I've talked about it in the previous sections, but you want to get those pages so that you can get reduced resistances. This is pretty much everything you do in your account should be thinking, how can I get to Glory Tower 400 faster? Obviously don't brick it in other ways, like, upgrade your castle with low building speed increase %, but the best things to think about to progressing this further is your Wind Praetorian. How strong your Wind Praetorian is, it can one-shot the tank units in the Glory Tower, and it deals the most damage out of anything by far. And obviously, as I've said previously, your range units are really important. How much of the enemy's resistance do they reduce, and how much resistance do they have themselves? You need to think about that when trying to get to Glory Tower 400. And the other things that I buy in the shop here is, the things that increase your Praetorian's damage. And then the small stuff, if I have to get to the next floor, the next milestone. Yeah. So get to, pretty much everything else in the guide. Use that information to try to get to Glory Tower 400 to start buying those pages. And you should be on your way to starting a strong account. So that's all for the guide. Thanks for watching. And just another reminder to check out the Discord and have a look at the channels. There's a help discussion. You can ask any questions in there. There's a lot of people that will, provide answers. And there's also a lot of commands that have information on, heaps of stuff like the Lord of War skills. There's a early game guide, the text version, which I'll vow to keep updating it as often as I can. And the info sheets in there has lots of valuable information, can help you inform your decisions. And good luck on your new account. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you watch the whole thing. And get to Glory Tower 400.